Noah Hanifin has revealed the truth about his departure from the Calgary Flames. The Hanifin saga went on for months. It started with talks about signing a contract extension in Calgary, and then throughout the trade season, obviously it came to where's he going to go, where's he going to sign, and things got a little bit sticky, or so that's what was reported. But Hanifin is here to set the record straight after he had an interview with Eric Francis, and that is the report we will go over in this video. Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here, you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe because 84% of the people watching are not subscribed. So if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors on the Flames, then make sure you join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet. But yes, Noah Hanifin has had a chance to kind of clear his name. There's a lot of people thinking, oh great, another American defenseman who did not want to play in Calgary, wanted to go back down to America. We hate him. We're going to boo him like Adam Fox. But you know what? Noah, he came out and has said some nice things. So if you're on that boat who, when Hanifin makes his return to the Saddle Dome, you're going to be thinking of booing, this might change your mind. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong here, whether you boo or cheer or a little bit of both. I'm just saying Hanifin is here to set the record straight. So Hanifin sets record straight. He has had the chance to voice his mind, which, you know, he didn't do too much of throughout the trade season. A lot of the post-game interviews and pre-game interviews and just interviews in general we saw were always, obviously, Conroy and Huska. But in terms of players, it seemed like it was always Huberdeau, Coleman, Weegar. You know, we didn't really hear too much from Tanev and Hanifin and even Lindholm back when he was on the Flames. But now Hanifin, now that he's down in Vegas, has had the opportunity to speak his mind. So Hanifin denies putting Flames in tough spot with trade deadline decision. So it was reported, you know, a week ago, about probably pretty much on the day he was traded, that he had kind of put the Flames in a bind. Him and his camp, him and his agents were kind of stopping the Flames from making any good trades that Hanifin and his camp didn't like. Hanifin isn't completely sold by that and doesn't fully agree. So let's get into Hanifin's truth here. I was never holding the Flames hostage, said the 27-year-old defenseman from his hotel room in suburban Vegas. That was one of the more difficult things to hear towards the end because I personally felt I was never doing that. Talking to Connie, I don't think either side felt that. So obviously it was more of a media thing, trying to, you know, make stories out of anything throughout the trade season. That's when hockey media pops off. That's when the hockey business, it is at its hottest. So to hear that neither side within the Hanifin camp and the Flames camp felt that Hanifin was kind of vetoing trades is a little interesting to hear, and I'm glad it's cleared the air. I only had an 8-team no-trade clause, so I was never going to be able to say no, said Hanifin, who reportedly had a new contract in place with Tampa Bay had the Flames been able to broker a deal there. I felt I should give Calgary a list of teams I would sign with, and then it got out there that I was holding the team hostage and would only sign with one team. I wasn't ever going to sign an extension just anywhere in the league. I don't think any player in the NHL would do that. So there he's trying to justify, you know, I had a deal in place with Tampa, but that doesn't mean I was stopping the Flames from sending me anywhere else. I'm not going to say, hey, trade me to, you know, Arizona or something just because they have the cap room. Obviously, he wanted to go to a contender. The Flames, you know, they accommodated the other players throughout these trades like Lindholm, Tanev, you know, to go to contenders, have a chance to win. So why wouldn't they do the same with Hanifin? Hanifin obviously would have submitted a no-trade team list, which I would assume would include some of those teams like your classic Arizona, Columbus, Ottawa, things like that. But let's continue here. So where would he have signed? Preferably East Coast, close to home, said the Boston native. We've known that all along. But then you have to find teams in playoff contention and teams with money and space that want you. It boils down to a few teams. It was positioned almost like I was doing it to spite Calgary, to hurt them. That was never the case. I was being honest with them. So Hanifin, you know, I think it's been known this whole time that the big suitors for Hanifin were, you know, Tampa, Florida, Boston, and Vegas. Some of those bigger markets, teams with less tax in their states. So Hanifin obviously knew that the fans knew where he wanted to go and that the Flames knew where he wanted to go. It just got escalated like crazy and saying that, you know, he really was hijacking these trades and saying, demanding to go to specific spots, but it doesn't fully seem like that is the truth. There's obviously this is his side, and there's definitely another side to it of the camp of, you know, the Flames side of it or the Flames fan side of it. But either way, I do think Noah is obviously revealing the truth here. But let's continue. It was an extremely difficult decision because I love the organization and the city, but when I looked at the next 8 years, I just thought the next chapter should be closer to home, said Hanifin. Sounds a lot like Johnny Gaudreau. I had a really hard time with it throughout the year. Playing and being around the guys was my escape from it. When I was at home, it weighed on me. There were times I was really close to signing, but things happened on both sides that caused each side to step away. So that's kind of new there. It was never really reported that Hanifin was close to signing with the Flames, but maybe he's just saying that to, you know, show that he was interested in the city, because whenever a player leaves a team, he says, oh, I love the city, I love the organization, for the most part. But I do think Hanifin means it. I'm just kind of a little bit surprised by hearing that there was a chance he could have signed with Calgary. Now, it seems a lot like, you know, the Johnny Gaudreau situation again. I had to look at my future, wanted to be closer to home. You know, where do I want to start my family? That kind of thing. Vegas isn't that close to Boston, but Hanifin obviously hasn't signed a contract extension with Vegas. I think if the Flames were to get a deal with a team in the hopes that it would be a sign and trade, obviously the Flames would have got more back and Hanifin would be closer to home. So still don't be shocked if Hanifin doesn't sign an extension with Vegas and then goes closer to home on the East Coast somewhere this offseason. I was so honored and humbled by the belief Connie and the organization had in me to commit to me for 8 years, but ultimately it was a family decision and Connie totally understood, said Hanifin, who had 2 assists in his second game with Vegas Saturday. Yeah, he's already off to a hot start. Connie has been such an important person in my career even before he was general manager. When I was 22 and 23 and finding my game, he was a guy who encouraged me and gave me confidence and told me I could take another step and be a better player. That's what made the decision so hard. So that is a quote there for all the people who are Conroy haters within the Flames fan base right now. Conroy has done everything he can in order to make everyone happy while still running a functional and successful hockey organization. I think he's done a great job here. Hanifin's not mad at him. Tanev had great things to say about him as well. So really it seems like he does care about his players. And I'm sure the players who are currently on the Flames feel that way as well. I'm sure they love Conroy as well. So he really does have everyone's best interest in mind, but definitely the Flames' organization's best interest in mind. And he's just doing the best he can in his rookie season. Let's just look at one last thing here from this article by Eric Francis. He's a good man and he's going to put them in a good spot. That's what Hanifin said of Conroy. Despite the fact he informed Conroy of his intentions shortly after the All-Star break in early February, so not long after Lindholm was traded, he said his final month in Calgary wasn't awkward. The guys were super good. They understand the business of hockey. Everyone understood, and we heard things, especially from the whole Markstrom saga, about, you know, the players were super upset at how the management is taking care of things and the media is getting too crazy about it, which I'm sure was true. But it's nice to hear that the Flames have such a camaraderie, such a brotherhood, that they were able to, you know, just focus on hockey together. They understand the business side, but we'll do the actual sport here and just continue having fun with each other. And that can be the escape. So it's nice that Hanifin had a good brotherhood here. I'm sure Tanev would say the same. And again, a lot of the current players would do the same as well. There's a lot of pros in that locker room, and they just show up and work every day. They didn't treat Tanny or Lindy or me any differently. They did a really good job putting all the noise away, and I'm grateful for that. Which brings us to Thursday night when Hanifin will return to Calgary to play the Flames a mere 7 days after he left the team in Tampa to join the Golden Knights. So yes, let's look ahead. We're looking ahead at this week because the past 2 games have been absolutely terrible. The road trip started so hot in Tampa, and then in Florida and Carolina just went terribly with huge losses. 7-2 yesterday. That was no fun to watch after I said I thought it'd be a very exciting game. It was exciting if you're a Hurricanes fan, not if you're a Flames fan. So, Calgary, they host Colorado tomorrow on Tuesday, and then they host Vegas on Thursday. That will be interesting. Hanifin's return so instant. And in a lot of Flames fans' minds, especially those attending the game, they will be booing. They will be still upset at Hanifin, wishing he was still here. I think he'll get a lot of cheers, especially with this report coming out from Eric Francis. I'm sure that will grow in the media. It's always the negative things that grow more. But hopefully, if you're going to the game and you've seen this video, maybe Hanifin deserves some cheers, at least during the video tribute. Give him an ovation. If you want to boo otherwise, I completely understand. I'm not the one who gets to decide that. I understand both sides. Both sides are valid. Either way, Hanifin gave his all for this organization. It's a shame he didn't stay here, but the Flames got back what they could for him through this crazy trade season and all of that. Imagine if it was just one player for the Flames who, was going through a big trade saga throughout the season. No, it was multiple. It was 4 or 5 guys, So it's difficult to pinpoint exactly. But Hanifin, I'm sure he will get a warm welcome, but I do understand if there are some boos as well. So I want to know from you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you've made it this far in the video. If you are going to the game, or if you are going to the game, are you more on team cheer or team boo? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you're new around here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.